Two sentences I want you to listen carefully. I work at HCL Technologies and I code for my clients. Sentence number 2. I am an avid, enthusiastic tennis fan and my strongest shot is the forehand. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear friends.
Good evening.
So you might be thinking, what are these two sentences? How are they related? Well, I am just trying to pass the time so that those two sentences get erased out of those memories. And now is the time when I'll ask which of the two sentences you found more interesting.
Second.
Okay, you all are smart people. Okay, so that's what is the topic of today's my today's theme: follow through. So HCL is my action, and what I do after HCL is my follow through. So one day I asked my friend, my forehand wasn't very strong initially while playing tennis. I asked my friend that how can I improve my forehand. He told me to demonstrate it. So I demonstrated it to him. I showed him. This is how I play. So he being an experienced player, he immediately caught the problem with my forehand, and he told me that, bro, you don't take a follow through. You have to give a follow through to your hand. So I asked him in detail, can you explain it further? So he told me that when you are preparing yourself to take that shot, the ball is here. You're preparing and you're taking that action. You are putting in a lot of energy. And when you're not giving the follow through, you are doing two wrong things. Firstly, you're stopping your hand from its natural motion. So your muscles get cramped up. And secondly, you have to prepare for the next shot and you have to bring it back. So you're spending more energy to bring it back. Instead, if you give a follow through to your shot, it will naturally come back to its original position. That's the case with life, friends. When I go to my job, it's HCL till here, and what I do after that, it's my follow through. Follow through is very, very important in your life. I'll give you an example of one of the biggest entrepreneurs of our times, Elon Musk. He tells that whatever you do outside of your job, after your job, till you sleep, that actually decides what your future is gonna be. Yeah, friends, that is what follow through is. It's very important. And it also releases all your tension from your day's work and refreshes you for the next day. What Bill Gates does even today after being a billionaire is he washes his dishes after going home, just to involve his mind in something which is not mindful, to get refreshed. But follow through is not only about getting refreshed, it can give you opportunity in the future as well. I'll give you one of my example. So I was in my office. I set up a call with the senior sales director who is based out of the US. He's a very senior guy. I arrived at the call, since I was the host of that call. I arrived at the call 5 minutes before that call. He also arrived at, but after there were 10 other people who were to join after 5 minutes. So we had a 5-minute time to kill. He asked me that, hi Mayur, what did you do during the weekend? I said I watched the final of the Australian Open. And he said, oh yeah, Federer played so well, he's one of the best. And we chatted for like 5 minutes before others arrived. Then we did the routine work and then we continued with our work. Later on, fast forward, after 5 months I had to do some important assignment and I had to go to him. I called him up, hello sir, I'm Mayur. He's saying, oh, who do you think will win the US Open? I was like, it took me 10 seconds to find out what is he talking about. He remembered those 5 minutes of chat after 6 months. So that is what is important, is that follow through is something which you do outside of your work and creating that identity outside of your work. Now many of you might be students. You might be thinking, what is he talking about? How can I apply in my college life? Let me tell you one thing. I was, as told by Ankur, I was an electronics engineer, and if you ask me anything related to electronics, I won't be able to tell anything about it. Okay, I will be, what I remember from 4 years of engineering is the cultural committee which I did there. So that is what happens. The main action was studying and cultural committee was my follow through. That is what helped me and gave me an identity there. In the end, what I would like to say, I would like to quote one of the famous dialogues of the part defining movies of our times, Fight Club. It says that you're not your job, you're not the money you have in your bank, you are not the car you drive. I like to extend that further and say that you are in more than what you do outside of your job. You are what you do with that money in your bank, and you are what you do after getting out of that car. That's follow through for you guys. Thank you.